Test 1, 2. Okay. Hello. Welcome back. I say welcome back. Welcome. We're going live again. Happy winter to you all. 1st of June today. So today is officially the first day of winter. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure that mic's working. Yeah. It's the first day of winter today. Happy winter to you all. Winter is, as you know, is probably the most exciting time to be dramming. As I said, as I've said before, it's excellent dramming weather, and I think we often overlook the fact that you can find a lot of good dramming in different weather. Different weather, commands a different type of spirit. I've said before. I'm just going to check my setup here. I've said before that sometimes the best dramming of things like bourbon is done in summer. I love summer dramming of bourbon, like a good sweet bourbon, a nice cask strength single cask bourbon, even better in summer. And I love things like peated whiskies in winter. And that's why there's a peated whiskey coming up in this stream. It's not exactly, actually, I'm going to mostly do that tomorrow night, because that's the theme of tomorrow night. Monday, however, is often Monday rant, as you know. Now, I'm not really in a ranty mood. I'm in a good mood. So not too much to rant about. But there's a few things I want to cover off here. I'm just going to quickly say hello to James Bunton, Rob Akers, Rowan Hitch, Darren Howie, guys, Steve Oates, everyone, fantastic. Everyone tuning in, thank you so much. This is a cool opportunity for us to have a chat tonight. And like I say, it's not really so much a rant; it's just a chance for us to have a chat. I want to talk a little bit. I want to dig in again, however, on a topic I've touched on before, but I want to focus in on a bit more tonight because I'm seeing a bit more of those kind of comments online. I think as people, again, comes into winter, people start focusing on which whiskeys they're going to open, which whiskeys they're enjoying. And often the topic around color comes up again. So I've got a bit of a setup on the table here, which I'll reveal in a moment. I just want to make sure that, like I say, that all the streams are working and everyone's able to catch it. I'm just going to expand them all out. I'm so glad that it's actually Rob and Darren you're on because your photos are up on the stream tonight. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss out on this one. Rant about that haircut, mate. There is nothing wrong with this haircut. It's actually one of the better haircuts I've had in the last year, I'd say. It was a little bit of a mop as little as a week ago because of COVID, and I hadn't got a haircut for a couple of months there. So, I could just get, the Scotty, I could just get the buzz like you do and just, sort of, and then it's there. But sometimes a bit of style is nice, So, take that for what it's worth. Quick, someone trigger that. Matt Whisker, good to see you. Mark T, good to see you. Nick Huzek. Seamus Carroll, good to see you all tuning in. Thank you so much. You know what? I love the rants. I love going live. Am I jittering a bit? Is the stream working okay? Because it's kind of jittering a bit on my end, on the replay. So just let me know if it's working or if it's not working. Team Owen Taylor. You said you wanted to trigger me, right? No. I've never even met the guy. I couldn't tell you one thing about him, but look, it is this. He may have helped trigger this along there. Let's talk about color. Okay. A bit stuttered. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's going on there. I've never had that problem. Never had that problem before. Okay. So it might be a connectivity issue. It might be a Zoom thing. It might be my internet. I don't know. It sometimes can do that. Johnny Edwards, good to see you, mate. Pleasure's always. Bit of stutter. Okay. Watching intently. Well, it's a good thing you guys are on because I'm gonna show all the photos of the best setups from Friday. I might have to restart this stream though because it is stuttering hard as I can see here. Oh, it's mostly my internet though. It might be my internet. Yeah, it's raining in Melbourne. NBN can't deal. Okay, let's press on. I'm going to start with the color discussion. A whiskey that went to panel and passed panel in the UK was this one. It's in a clear glass bottle because that's how it was shipped over as a commercial sample. Look at the color of that thing. Look at that ruby red color. That's all that's left of my my panel sample there. It was something that Andrew and I tasted and were very happy with and went through local panel as well as UK panel. But it was tasted out of green glass and it was tasted out of green glassware initially because the color argument is one that people often get way too wrapped up in. I'm going to show you an example. Here's another panel sample that shall remain nameless. I have to put my hand strategically over the front label. And this one did not pass panel. So let's have a look at this here. I'm going to hide that bottle out of the way. So this color is quite light. It's almost straw. Now let's do something blasphemous here. I don't even know what that smells like anymore. I can see why it didn't pass the panel. You definitely got a little Tourette's. Okay, so it's I don't have Tourette's. It's just that it's jittering and stuttering a bit. I think it might be improving though. I think it might be improving. So that is obviously miles lighter than that one, and that's kind of the point here. It's like that one didn't pass panel. That one surprisingly did, but it's not surprisingly. It's just that it was very good. And that one's not very good at all. Now, let's see if I can get color matching here, because people love color. Oh, probably too much. That's all right. There you go. Actually, I think I got pretty close. Does it affect the smell? It does. We don't add coloring to our whiskey, but people like to obsess over the color of whiskey. Now, if I just talked on this stream about color the whole time and held my glass like this and swished it about, I guarantee you someone will join the stream and say, oh, what are you drinking there? It looks marvelous. It does look marvelous. Our eyes are still thrown by color. They really are. And we get this, we get overly obsessed with color in spirit, and we get overly obsessed with darker equals better. And you see, even online, people buying and collecting whiskeys that are just pitch black and in clear glass. I'm not a big fan of clear glass. I'm also not a big fan of these pitch black whiskeys. Clear glass, obviously, it over accentuates the UV exposure to the whiskey. Doesn't need that opportunity to begin with. And second of all, darker does not equal better. It can mean it's a nice whiskey, don't get me wrong, but it can be just as much as a whiskey that is almost vodka colored in comparison. Too many cans of Coke Savo, maybe. Yeah, Darren, I think so. Even if you did have Tourette's, where you don't judge. Thank you, Irina. I don't, but thank you. Looks like actual sherry now. Yeah, see, this is the thing. There's a lot of sherried whiskeys out there that I don't like personally, and I think that they need to be held to a higher level of criticism. The reason for that is you often taste some of these massive sherried whiskeys, and all you can taste is the sherry. So there was recently, not a society bottling, it was another independent bottling of a 24-year-old whiskey, and it was from a first fill sherry cask 24-year-old. That's unusual to begin with. And second thing is, this sat in the cask at least 10 years too long. And that's unusual for a whiskey to go that long in a first fill. And you could tell it had been in a first fill. And you could tell that it was way too tannic. It was way too wooded. And it was just way too much sherry. When I drink a whiskey, I want to enjoy a whiskey. I don't want to enjoy the sherry or just the previous contents of what that barrel held. And that's why I still have strong beliefs about certain cask types that I don't think perform as well in whiskey, and that but people are they're quite popular because they impart often a lovely color. That is, of course, port casks. I've had more bad port cask whiskey than I've had good, but port casks impart a reddish, lovely kind of color like that, and so they get hugely excited over it. People get excited over it because of the color. The green glass of society bottles removes that perception straight away. So we don't bottle into clear glass, we bottle into green. That means that it's uniformity across the bottles, but it also means that you can then judge a whiskey on flavor profile, age, region, all that kind of stuff, rather than judging it entirely on the spirit color. But we came for the hair flicks. Lock Do at your heart out. For those who don't know, Daniel Mathers is talking about a whiskey that was released many years ago now, called Lock Do. I don't think they still make it. I don't know. I was actually at a bar in Edinburgh where I first tried it. I'd always heard of Lock Do, and what it is, it's Manickmore Spirit. I think released by the distillery. It's a core range bottling, and I think it's just a joke. It's 10-year-old whiskey with just buckets of caramel added. Now, that was a joke that Andrew made on Friday night, Caramel Factory, about Dalmore, and which I thought was quite funny. But I may have said it afterwards. We love you, White and Mackay. We really do. But it was just like some whiskeys have a lot of caramel added to them as by default, and some are added to after the fact, or have it added but aren't as heavy on it. There are, however, some distilleries, and this baffles me still. If anyone wants to tell me why this still happens, please go ahead. But what baffles me is that there are actually a few distilleries that have quite a prominent single malt range, not just selling to blenders and for whatnot, but they have a prominent single malt brand that then also adds color to a green glass bottle. It's a particular distillery in Ireland that does it, and I don't understand why that would be the case. They have a great spirit quality. They have great casks. They make delicious peated whiskey, and then they're bottled into green glass, but they also add coloring. Now, coloring is, I know, it's not just for making it dark. It's mostly for consistency. So that when you do pour it, one batch doesn't come out like that from an overabundance of active first fill sherry casks in the blend, or coming out more like that. But one of the most exciting whiskeys on our Friday night session was probably the lightest. There's the sound. Let's have another look at this one. 52.32. Highly entertaining. Probably the absolute standout of the Friday night tasting, if I'm being completely honest. And look at the color on it. Pale yellow. Pale yellow Pulteney. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna grab some of these comments before I miss out here. Look at the color of that. It is okay to swish in glass so you can see the legs though, right? Yes, of course, swishing in glass is fine to see the legs on a whiskey. I always move the whiskey around the glass. That actually opens up all the aromas. It starts bouncing around all the oils and acids in there, and it bounces around, opens up the aroma. You don't want it just sitting completely still. The only time I wouldn't really bash a whiskey around the glass would be a really old one. It doesn't need it. Again, it's like, they get quite delicate. They don't need to be swished around a lot or moved around. Younger whiskeys can tolerate it. And this one that was no, that's the other one. Sorry. This is the 12-year-old from Distillery 52. However, that sample was a 4-year-old of that mystery whiskey. No, can't say anything about. I've said that. Yeah. Matt, do you know where you can get green Glencairn glasses for blind tastings? Darren, I'll find some for you. I know where to get them. Even better than Glencairn's, however, which is not my favorite glass. They're kind of like, they look a lot like our spirit nosing glass. They're a glass designed for nosing and tasting and appreciating whiskey and assessing whiskey. And they come in blue or black usually. I don't think they make green ones of these, but yeah, it's not a bad idea. That looks like Cola with the E150. It does. Yeah, exactly. I've only added a bit. I agree, Matt. Ban sherry casks from usage in Scotch whiskey production. Well said. I'll start the petition on your name. Scotty, you certainly know how to twist my words a bit. This is not something I said. I'm a fan of sherried whiskies. I like sherried whiskies. I'm just saying, like, there comes a time and place where it can be overdone, and I think a lot of that has been happening to, again, appeal to the color buffs, people who only buy based on color. Of course, there's other factors like price and availability and whatnot. But yes, Toledo asks, "How are you feeling today?" Yes, we all went out. A few of us went out for dinner last night. I was pretty rough this morning. I'll be honest, but I'm feeling great now. So I don't quite have the Johnny Edwards bounce back speed, but I like to think I'm fairly close. How long is this Zoom going for? Reese, I normally go for about 30, 40 minutes most nights. Sometimes it goes for a bit longer, sometimes a bit shorter. I don't know. You can always watch in later. Garden Shed. Yeah, Garden Shed is Colby, I'm going to get back to you on that. Yes. And awesome. We love those stem glasses. Thanks, Darren. Yes. Look, there's a couple of things. Okay. So are you ready? I'm going to show you now. We're going to do the judging of the photos of the setups from Friday now. Okay. So I'm going to do a screen share for you, see if this works. And yeah, we'll go from there. Now, bear with me. I'm just going to set this up so that it actually works. And bear with me. Okay, I need to get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to do a screen share now so you can see what I see. Okay, hope that's working. Why is there a $10 note on your right shoulder, our left? Big night. $10 note on my shoulder? on your right shoulder. I can't see $10. Come on, Johnny. You know it's true. Okay, so here we go. This is Adrian de Grazia's setup. Very impressive. He's obviously sharing it, which is great. He's got his samples. He's got a coaster. He's got both of the tasting mats. Look at this setup. Some cheeses, breads. This is a very strong setup. Very strong setup. Maybe loses a point for not quite having enough glassware, but and again, they're Glencans. They're good glasses. But there we go. That's Adrian's setup. Very cool. Then we've got Sable Scotch's setup here. We're going to have a look at the this is good. This is basic, but it works. I like that because it's just got he's got some of the whiskeys in bottle form as well. The only one it looks like he didn't get is the 52, which was my favorite of them. But that was pretty cool right there. It's a good setup. What else we got here? We got Whiskey Archive, who tagged us on Instagram for this one. It's a cool setup because he's got some of his collection, Pip Hills' book, some of the samples. I like this. It's simple, but it works. Very clean. Some good whiskeys there as well. That 1.204 was a lovely whiskey. Okay, let's move on. Where are we up to? We know we just had that, So we go to look. I'm going to include Irina's in this and this is sort of a joint effort, mind you. This is Irina, Tim, Caleb. Hope I'm not missing anyone there. But this is a sort of a joint effort of some of the Friday night setup. So there's some serious stash behind there, of course, as well. I can spot some Heartwoods and some lovely single malts and some Sullys and some society casks up there on the top left. They should be high though. They should be high because they're the best. Come on. There you go. There you go. So that's a pretty strong setup. That's a very cool setup. That's a massive flex. Let's be honest. It keeps going forward or back on me. Keenan Sala, mate. That is an absolute flex as well. So you've got a collection there of some of last year's and this year's festival bottlings, including that 29.260, which I maintain is probably one of my highest rated whiskeys of last year in 19-year-old. I think because I got a bit of a personal connection with that cask as well, which is great. So Keenan's setup, very simple, simple on the front end though. Like nice looking table, nice looking setup, bit of flowers behind it as well. Looks nice. So and Sally, Irina, I knew I was going to miss someone. I just written Irina as the tag on your one there. So Irina, Sally, Tim, and Caleb. Here we go. So we've got Keenan, like I said. Okay, I like this setup. Matthew Adams set this one up. He's got some glassware. Not quite enough glassware, I don't think. Maybe you need some Society Coppers. Hint, hint. No, I'm just kidding. We've sold out. We've got some more coming, though. Don't worry. And then we've got... I like this one. Will Lamb set this up. Look at this. Nice big monitor. Some glasses. He's got 5 glasses for 5 drams. He's got a candle going, or that says mandel. So man candle. Ooh. And then some water, some sanitizer, some wine. Good setup. Nice, easy setup. He's doing some cooking as well, which is very cool. Did you miss your critique, Joel? Joel, Joel, did you submit a photo on Instagram or on Facebook? Because I'll have to find it either way. I'll put it in. Don't worry. And then we've got Lachlan Bell. Mate, look at this. A bit of tartan, the cap. He's got the 33138 out, which is a ripper whiskey, which he shared with me just the other night. Lovely whiskey. A good friend. He's got some. He's got a pourer, like a professional looking pourer. The notes, very very cool setup. Strong contender. They all are so far. I like this one though. This one's a ripper. Mark Garraway. Look at this. A bit of footy on the TV. A Richmond Premier's beer stubby. 5 glasses, 5 coasters, 5 samples. Very cool. Big shout out to Oak Barrel. There's their glasses. Great. Always graciously pinched from the Oak Barrel or given or bought. I don't remember. There you go. Cool setup though. Cool setup. Johnny Edwards, mate. Big points. You got a varied range of different branded Glen cans at the back. Cavalan, Balvenie, Lark. Is that Glenmorangie, I think? And is that Kalila behind that one, I think? Yep. So I'm going to go with that. Or is it? No, it says Glenkinchie, I think. That one's a bit blurry. But a bit of pool. There you go. a bit of pull. It looks dangerous to shoot that one and smash through glassware, but I like the photo. Very cool. I might have judged mine in the very lower half, I reckon. Joel, don't worry, it'll be included in the final take. Dan Roberts, simple setup, doing a bit of work. Got the outturn on one side. I like this because he's got two monitors set up, which is a strong game, and he's got his samples ready to go. Might need a bit more glassware, but a very cool little distillery jug there. The group and outturn. So outturns, of course, this Friday. A nice close-up from Rob Akers. Big, strong points for Rob for using all society glassware. Very cool. Nicely dimly lit. Looks like he's in his whiskey room. Got the iPad ready to go, and Andrew and I on his screen. We're getting into the meaty end here, I think, a bit. Caleb gets massive points from me on this one as well for using the flavor wheel whilst watching it. Big monitor. So that's of course a monitor flex right there. Some samples, some society glassware, a Suntory jug, an Archie Rose sanitizer. Look at that. This is very cool. This is, again, strong setup here. A nice close-up again. That one's from Scott Brickhill. Big shout-out to Scott. Your photos are always incredible there, Scott. That's I'm going to give you points for that one because it looks like you're ready to go there. Jeremy Young. I like this because I can see where we're going in the background here, but you've got samples ready to go on the coaster. Very classy portrait-style photo. A nice wide one from Normal. Good to see you. Looks like a nice tasting for you too. Fairly a broad mix of glassware. And then we're going to go to Paul Hamilton Brown. He's a newish member. So welcome, Paul, who's got this set up ready to go on his computer and all his drams here. And there we are again. This is for Simon McGorham, who got to follow along on Saturday, sharing it along. And big props to Alex Moores. That is a strong game for Alex. As you can see, we're on the big screen. So that's a cool setup. That's a very cool setup. But I think the one that's going to maybe win the award, actually, Scott, it's the other way around. You get double points for being on the big screen. And if you get it on a cinema screen or IMAX, that's quadruple points. But I think one of the strongest photos for me has to be from Darren Howie. Look at this setup. Look at that view. Very, very envious. That looks like an absolutely ripper evening up in Cairns to be enjoying some society single cask samples. Got your glassware, you got some bottles, and double points. The bottles are all open, all being open and enjoyed. That's what we like to see. So so that's that. That's where we're up to with with our photos. I really appreciate that. I reckon I'm going to have to give I'll give one of the awards. I'll highlight the awards on a post on the group. It'll make more sense that way. Yeah, Rainbow Keyboard. Yeah, exactly. And strong monitor game as well. You need a big screen to fit Matt's head. You know what, Johnny? I was going to give you a prize for your bull shot, but that comment like that, no, I'm just kidding. Good. Yeah. I swear it's just Johnny and Scott just trolling me tonight. Mark, I knew I was going to miss some. There's a lot of posts, and I had to get all those ready rather quickly. Mark, I'll get yours in. Joel will get yours in. Don't worry. I'll put them in the review process. Yeah, there were some very cool photos that came in. I'm sure I was going to miss one or two. So I'm very sorry, but I'll get around to all of them. Don't worry. In the meantime, Keenan says that 52 is amazing. Stand out amongst some real quality rams. Really appreciate that, Keenan. English me, he says. Oh, English me. Colby, yes, I know you wrote it on both threads. It's all good. The pool puns. I did miss the pool puns. I'm not very good at puns. Big stream is being used for Animal Crossing. Good to know. Well, look, that's all I want to show tonight was some of the bit about colouring, a bit about caramel, and a bit about outturn, of course, is this week, which we're going to talk about for the remainder of the streams. I've got tomorrow night is an outturn preview night. I'm going to tell you about that first. Malt of the month is I Like Big Butts, 66.164. There it is. I'll hold that one up so you can see it. Very funny name. It's a sherried 66 that was then extra matured in another sherry cask. So it was sherry into sherry, big sherried 66. It's a young whiskey. It's going to be young, fun, vibrant, and it's Malt of the month for this Friday. Very excited about that. Even though I was just talking about sherry casks, but still, this is what I mean. This is going to be an interesting one where it's an additional maturation that is unusual. So it's 5 years in an ex Oloroso. 5 years in a first fill ex Oloroso, 2 years in a second fill ex Sherry Butt, which is probably Oloroso as well. But that's cool that we're going to be able to feature that. I'm opening that up tomorrow. Tomorrow night we'll have a dram and we'll have a discussion about it. Friday was an awesome night. Great selection by the team who chose them. Darren, you're very welcome. That was I chose those samples. The idea behind choosing what we had in the festival box was basically we wanted to cover off every not so much every flavor profile, because a lot of them were deep rich and dried fruits or peated. But what we wanted to cover off was the fact that there were is Highland Whiskey Festival, Speyside Whiskey Festival, Campbelltown Malts Festival, and Facial or Isla Festival. So I wanted to make sure that 4 out of 5 samples, 4 of them had to cover off 4 festivals. That was the idea behind the selection mostly. So we could traipse around each festival and have a sample of each. So, yes, the joke that Andrew made on Friday was Joel Bradbury the distillery was Dalmore, and the joke is that it has been Dalmore have been known to add whiskey to their E150. I'm going to get taken out and shot one day. That's great, and it will be Richard Patterson out the front with a revolver waiting for me. That's all from me tonight. I really appreciate you all tuning in and being part of the lives every night that we do them, which is every weeknight. And we've got a cool week ahead, actually, because it's Outturn week. Tomorrow is Malt of the Month preview night. Wednesday night, we're chatting with Scott Mansfield. If you grab your copy of Outturn, if your printed copy has arrived, which it should have by now for most members, flip about 2/3 of the way through, there's a great full-length article on Lindores Abbey. The distillery there now is everything, and the place and the people and everything. Lovely article. It's a good 6 pages long, just about the new distillery, 4 pages, sorry, about the distillery. And then there's a trip to Oban with Jenny Forrest. Some great reading. Also, Lachlan, of course. Your Dram, Your Way, Lachlan Watt's article in there as well. Big shout out to Lachlan for writing that for us, and a big shout out, of course, to our state managers for writing. But I'm going to have Scott on Wednesday night talking about a bit more in depth, a bit more behind the scenes for just for members on, well, not just for members, but anyone who wants to watch along. Night off to try the 63.60. Yes, that's right. And that's all I want to get through tonight. And I, again, really appreciate your tuning in, being a part of the stream. I will catch you all tomorrow night for a Malt of the Month preview. In the meantime, happy dramming, and I hope you all have a wonderful week, and happy Mondays and all that too, and Monday artists, whatever. And when's Unfiltered landing here? Unfiltered should be here in the July. You should have in your July Outturn should have the next Unfiltered coming through. So it's still 4 issues a year. So it's every 3 months. And the last one was about 3 months ago, which was the special edition with the blue cover. That one there. So that was the that was April. That sounds right. March or April, and then next one will be July. Awesome article by Lachlan. Yeah, absolutely awesome article. In the meantime, have a great night. I'm trying to sign off, I promise. And we'll see you all for Malt of the Month preview tomorrow night. Cheers.